Good morning. Come back to the SST class. Children, today we will continue the revision class for the midterm exam. So children, in the previous class already we discussed about the first four chapters. Today we are going to discuss about the fifth chapter, that is rotation and revolution. Okay. So in this chapter children, we are going to learn rotation, axis, revolution, then leaf year, then polar night. Children, do you know that which are the two movements of the earth? They are the rotation and revolution. Okay. So, the movement of the earth on its axis is called the rotation. Children, the movement of the earth on its axis is called the rotation. What do you mean by the axis, children? What is the axis? Axis, it is an imaginary line from North Pole to South Pole around which the earth spins. Earth, children. So, the axis, it is an imaginary line, okay, from North Pole to South Pole, okay, around which the earth spins. Okay. So, children, it is tilted. What do you mean by the tilted, children? Means it is not straight. Okay. It is in the sloping position. Okay. It is in the sloping position. Then children, already we discussed what is the rotation. The movement of the earth on its axis is called the rotation. So children, the how much time takes to complete one rotation? The earth takes 24 hours. How much time, children? 24 hours means one day, one complete day. Okay. So, the earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation. Then, the rotation of the earth causes the day and night. Children, so here the rotation of the earth causes the day and night. Then children, the earth is like a sphere, okay. So as it rotates at the time, only one part, okay, only one part of the earth can receive the sunlight. So a part of the earth which receives the sunlight, that part experiences the day, okay. So children, other part which does not receive the sunlight experience the night. That's why children, the rotation of the earth causes the day and night. Then what is a revolution, children? What is a revolution? The movement of the earth around the sun. The movement of the earth around the sun is called the revolution. The movement of the earth around the sun, it is called the revolution, children. This is, so the how much time takes how much days takes to complete one revolution? The earth takes 365 days. How many? 365 days and 6 hours to complete one revolution. Okay. So this is considered as 1 year. How many days, children? 365 days and 6 hours to complete one revolution. And that's why it is considered as a 1 year. Then children, then come to the next point. Then children, revolution causes the seasons. Okay, which are that seasons? Summer, winter, autumn and the spring. Okay, next point, that is leap year. Why do we have the leap year, children? What do you mean by the leap year? The earth takes, already we learned, the earth takes 365 days and 6 hours. Okay, 365 days and 6 hours to revolve around the sun. But we consider 1 year to have the only 365 days. 1 year have the only 365 days because it makes measuring time easier. Then these extra sixers, okay, from each year finally we add up to the 24 hours, 24 hours or a complete day after the 4 years. That's why children, this extra day is added to the calendar every 4th year. So here, such a year which has a 366 days in it is known as a leap year. Okay, in the leap year how many days children? 366 days. So in the leap year, the month of the February has a 29 days. Remaining other years, as usual, the February has a 28 days, but in the leap year the February has a 29 days. So the revolution causes the seasons. Which are that children? Summer, winter, autumn and the autumn and spring. These are the seasons. Then children, already we know that the some imaginary lines on the globe. We can see the some of the imaginary line on the globe. So in those, the equator, okay, the equator, it is also an imaginary line. Okay, so it divides the earth into two parts. Children, the equator, it is called the equator. Okay, the equator divides the earth into two parts. Okay, so which are that? Northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Equator divides the earth in two parts. These are the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Here children, so means which is our country? India. Okay, so our country India, it is located in the which hemisphere? That is in the northern hemisphere. So India is located to the north of the equator. It is a northern hemisphere children, and it is a southern hemisphere. So India is located in the north of the equator, means in the northern hemisphere. Then children, the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, okay, always have the opposite seasons, which means in the northern hemisphere, whenever in the summer season, but in the opposite hemisphere, which is that southern hemisphere, here winter season. Okay, then if the in the northern hemisphere there is a winter season, in the southern hemisphere there is a summer season. That's why the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere always have the opposite seasons. Got it children? Next, come to the next point, that is polar night. What is the polar night? Already we learned, okay, means in the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere always have the opposite seasons. Okay, then during the summer in the northern hemisphere, okay, the sun never sets, means children continuous day in the north pole. It is known as the children north pole, it is a south pole. So during the summers in the northern hemisphere, the sun never sets in the north pole. Okay, so during the winter season, during the winter season in the northern hemisphere, there is a, the sun never, means the sun not rise at the north pole because it is winter season. Okay, during the winter season in the northern hemisphere, means in the north pole, the sun never rise, sun does not rise. Okay, means continuous, there is a dark in the north pole. So the continuous night in the polar region or in the north pole, okay, during the winter season, it is known as the polar night. Understood children? So in the winter season in the northern hemisphere, means in the north pole, in the winter season there is continuous dark because the sun does not rise, continuous dark there only. That's why it is known as a polar, continuous night in the polar region, means in the north pole, it is known as a polar night. So children, after your lesson, okay, lesson number 5, rotation and revolution, after the lesson also you have the fill in the blanks, match the following, true or false, choose the correct answers, question answers. First children, we have to read all these question with answers, then after we have to write once again, okay, practice that all question answers. Okay children, which is your sixth chapter, that is domains of the earth. Okay, so in this chapter we will discuss about the four domains of the earth, which are that lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and the biosphere. Okay, these are the four domains of the earth. Then which is first one children, that is lithosphere. Okay, so the outermost solid layer of the earth is called the lithosphere. The outermost solid layer of the earth is known as a lithosphere. Then children, the lithosphere, it consists of the solid rocks and soil. Okay, so the lithosphere, it consists of the solid rocks and the soil. And children, it's also consists the all the continents. Okay, in the previous class already we learned which are that continents. So the lithosphere, it includes all the continents and ocean floors. Okay, means the all the continents and ocean floors also part of the lithosphere. Okay, then our planet, which is that earth. Yes, our planet earth is made up of the number of the layers, which are that core, the mantle and the crust. Core, the mantle and children under one crust. Okay, so the core, the center part of the earth. Okay, the center part of the earth, it is known as the core. Okay, then it includes it's the core containing the iron and nickel. Okay, iron and nickel, that's why it is known as the core. Then the core, it is divided into two parts children, which are that the inner core and the outer core. The inner core and the outer core. Then the second layer, which is that the mantle. Okay, it is lie between the core and the crust. Okay, so it is a center layer of the core and the, or it lies between the core and the crust. Then children, the mantle, it forms most of its volume. Okay, then which is the third layer children, that is crust. Okay, so the crust, it is a thin, hard and outer layer of the earth's surface. Okay, it is a thin, hard and outer layer of the earth. Then children, it is made up of the solid rocks. Okay, then and layers of the soil. The crust, it is made up of the solid rocks and layers of the soil. Then children, we have to practice these diagrams also. Okay, the layers of the earth. Then come to the second domain. What is that? Hydrosphere. Okay, hydrosphere. What is the meaning of the hydro children? Hydro means water. Hydro means water. Then hydrosphere includes all the water bodies, which are that oceans, rivers, streams, lakes, okay, and underground water, etc. So many are there. Then children, in this hydrosphere, we learnt about the water cycle also. Okay, what is the water cycle? What is the water cycle children? The continuous movement of the water from the land to air, again back to the land. It is known as the water cycle. Okay, so how many stages are there in the water cycle children? There are three stages in the water cycle children, which are that the first one evaporation, condensation and the precipitation. Three stages are there. Okay, so the water change into the water vapor in the stage of evaporation. Then children, in the condensation, water vapor change into the water droplets. Then the last stage, precipitation, the water droplets comes down in the form of the rain. Okay, that's why in the water cycle there are three stages. These are the evaporation, condensation and the precipitation. Then children, the water cycle constantly refills the water supplies on earth. Okay. Then come to the third point, third domains. What is that? Atmosphere. Okay. Atmosphere, the gaseous part of the world, the gaseous part of the world, okay, which surrounds, that covers all of us, means that covers the earth. It is known as the atmosphere. Here the gaseous part of the world that covers all of us, that is called the atmosphere, children. Okay. So the atmosphere, it is a layer of the gases, okay, that surrounds the earth like a blanket. Okay. So atmosphere, children, it is a layer of the gases that surrounds the earth like a blanket. Okay. Then in the atmosphere, atmosphere means it has a mixture of the different gases, which are that nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, helium, dust particles, etc. Okay. Then which gas forms the largest part of the air around us, children? That is nitrogen. How much, children? Nitrogen, it is in the air, how much part? More than 3/4 part. Okay. More than 3/4 part of the air is a nitrogen. Okay. Then children, the layers of the atmosphere, which are that layers? The first one is troposphere, stratosphere, then mesosphere, thermosphere and the exosphere. How many layers are there in the atmosphere? Already we learned 5 layers. Which are that? First one troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and the exosphere. These are the 5 layers. And another one question, children, in which layer have the ozone gas? Which layer has the ozone gas, children? That is the stratosphere. Okay. In the stratosphere, we find the layer of the ozone gas. Okay. In which layer? Stratosphere. Keep in your mind. So, in the stratosphere, we find the ozone gas. So, ozone gas that blocks a large portion of the that blocks the large portion of the harmful ultraviolet rays from the sun, because the ozone layer of the atmosphere, it acts as a, or it works as a filter. Okay. So then come to the next one, children. Which domain? Last one, that is a biosphere. Biosphere. What is the biosphere? The area of the earth, okay, where the living beings are found. Okay, the area of the earth where the living beings are found. Living beings means human beings, animals, birds, insects, etc. Okay, are found. That is called the biosphere. Got it, children? Then the air, water, land, all are necessary for the existence of the life. That's why, children, the biosphere we can find other remaining three in the 3 layers also, which are the lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere also we can found the biosphere, means we can found the life. Then children, in the 6th chapter, we have the 3 diagrams, which are that page number 39. What is there? Inside the earth. Means children, the diagram is there. The layers of the earth. Okay. The layers of the earth. Then in the next page, page number 40, page number 40, distribution of the land and water on the earth's surface. Children, this diagram also we have to practice. Then turn the page, page number 42, the layers of the atmosphere. The layers of the atmosphere. Children, here 3 diagrams are there. You have to practice these 3 diagrams for the midterm exam. Okay. Means now I give you 2 diagrams any from there, but you have to practice that diagrams, but in the exam you have to draw any one diagram. Okay. So in the 6th chapter Page number 39, layers of the earth. Then page number 40, distribution of the land and water on the earth's surface. Then page number 40, 42, that is the layers of the atmosphere. Okay, children, you have to practice these three diagrams. Okay, means 4 marks are there for these diagrams. You have to, means which diagram I give in the exam, you have to draw that diagram neatly in your midterm exam. Okay, so children, today in the revision class, all 6 chapters we discussed. Okay, that's why you have to practice, children. Okay, first read, then after all the fill in the blanks, question answers, match the following, choose the correct answers, because 2 marks questions also are there, 3 marks, 4 marks questions also are there. Okay, you have to practice. Then after the reading you should write once again, means practice properly, then only you have to write correct answers in exam. Okay, then all the best. Thank you.